Hello, it is late at night, my favorite time to work, and I am here with my art journal to give you an update. My anniversary, my 1 year recovery anniversary from my spinal surgeries. September 24th was my cervical surgeries where I had some vertebrae removed, had corpectomy, infusions. I was very ill, almost paralyzed, couldn't walk, couldn't use my hands. And now I'm using my hands and making cards. It's been quite a blessed miracle type of thing, thanks to my doctors. And I did some journal spreads to help me recover. This is my art journal. And first, this was the art journal piece that I did at 5 months. And I'm gonna use this. I always like to point. At 5 months, I was really feeling stuck. As you can see from all those brick walls, I was very angry. Not at any one person, although I was misdiagnosed quite a long time before I finally got the help I needed. And I do believe that I'm left with spinal damage to this day where I'm not able to walk unassisted because an intervention didn't happen earlier. And even when I was in the hospital, the neurosurgery team, neurology team, I was in Cleveland Clinic here in Weston. It's a teaching hospital, and they asked my permission for every day. I was there for weeks. Could they bring students? I would have like one teacher, doctor, neurologist, and about like 9 students. They would circle, and then he would do tests and have each one of them repeat them. There's certain neurological tests you can do on feet, hands, fingers, different things that a doctor can do to know that there is neurological damage happening, where it's happening. Those tests had never been done. I had gone to 3 neurologists until I got to the Cleveland Clinic with my wonderful team. Anyway, I just remember the students practicing, and a lot of it's flicking and holding the ankle and doing something, I don't know. And I would just sit there. I didn't know what they were doing, but the teacher would go, no, you're gonna hold it like this, your hand, you're this, you're gonna do that. And I just got a kick out of seeing all these young students. And I said, are all of you going into neurology? And they said, no. I said, I hope some of you do. I have rheumatoid arthritis, but it's affected my spine and it's changed my life. And you guys are saving my life. So here's my vote for neurology or rheumatology. So we got to be pals. Anyway, all that to say, I was angry, but mainly angry just at what I found, the situation I found myself in. So you see a lot of red for anger, red for blood, red for pain. I've been dealing with chronic pain for many years, but the pain post-surgery was so great. I do not wish that on anyone. And the worst was to come because I had my cervical emergencies. September 24th, that was my surgery. I think I was hospitalized around the 16th, and I stayed in for a couple weeks. And I wouldn't know till Christmas when I started getting numb all down my right side. I was falling. I was having a lot of other terrible symptoms. I went to the ER, and they kept me again, said another emergency. At the time of my cervical surgery, they had told me, they did a whole MRI of my entire spine. They told me the sad truth that my whole spine was affected with compression. And in some areas, the compression had caused myelopathy. That's the name of what I had. And when it's myelopathy, it's very serious. It's spinal damage, risk of paralysis, even death. So they had told me then, we need to look at your thoracic, T11, T9 through 12, very bad. We're gonna wait till you get better. Okay, I didn't really know what that meant, but I know I had pain. By Christmas, it was an emergency, and I had my second spinal surgery, and that was like T9 through 12. T9 through 11, T9 through 12, I believe. I did not have to have an entire vertebrae replaced this time. I had fusion, scaffolding, but he said it was just a mess. I had, I forget the name of it now. There was something wrong. So instead of getting a 1.5 inch scar that he told me, I woke up to a 6 inch, and the surgery from 3 hours was 6.5 hours. And big scar, but that pain. And I didn't find out till later that thoracic surgery, spinal surgery, is the most painful. It's good they don't tell you, but oh my gosh. Anyway, it started in September. So around September 16th is my 1 year of when I was hospitalized. And this was a art journal page I did at 1 year. And as you can see, I was really, everything this year has revolved around me falling, and trying to get me to be able to stand, control my legs, and be able to walk. Also was to get my hands working, but just everything, respiration, everything was, so fall risk was prominent. 4140, that was, what was it? A D-dimer test. D-dimer, I believe, I'm no doctor, but D-dimer measures inflammation in your body, and I think it's supposed to be like 120 or something. Mine was over 4,100. And because of that, they thought I might have a pulmonary embolism or some kind of embolism. I said, I'm breathing fine. I have pain in my back. And I just remember, like, they kept doing tests and kept me for extra days because they said, you can't have this level of inflammation without having something else wrong. I said, I can. I have rheumatoid arthritis. My inflammation in my body is off the charts all the time. They're like, not over 4,000. But I just remember that number, 4,000. I tell my rheumatologist, they're like, what? Yeah. Who knows what exactly was inflamed? I think my whole body. But the surgery made my body very weak. So all my opportunistic stuff came. I started having wild asthma in the hospital. That was very difficult for me to control. Then I just got one illness after my asthma. Then I was having yeast infections, just for women gynecology. Anything that could attack me was attacking me. I blamed the 4140 of inflammation. Okay, enough of that. So you can see barbed wire, brick walls that I'm trying to break down, but at least I did show there were spaces that were not covered. But flames, tears, that's the little drippies. 5 months. I have been working my butt off, and I have very much focused on art therapy through my card making, through this YouTube channel, through my blogs. I started a separate blog. I started an art course. It totally has saved me. I still have some neuropathy in this hand. I still have cervical problems, which I'm so hoping to avoid more surgery, but it's pretty bad. The neuropathy is still there. So this hand is not 100%, but this hand is, I don't know, 90%, 95%. It's enough that I do art. And I remember being in the hospital, and I didn't know what ruled what. I just knew my spine was messed up, and I couldn't walk, and I couldn't use my hands. Those are the two major, had other symptoms, and I remember telling the neurologist, please, doctor, if you have to choose, I don't know how this curing is done, this medicine of neurology, but if you have to choose between my legs and my hands, please give me my hands back. And I remember he looked at the other surgeons, and he just nodded and said, okay, we're going to try to give you both back. I said, okay, but my hands, I'm an artist. And that's the choice I made. I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't dress myself. Your hands, to me, were the most important. If I can't walk as well and I use a walker, okay, but I can dress myself. I can do my own personal grooming. I can make art. I can type. So he gave me my hands back. They're not in 100% condition, but they are great. They're great for me. So 5 months, and I recently decided I just was going to work in my art journal, but just organically, I started realizing that I was doing an art journal spread really about my recovery. And so I went with it, and I've really been a joy, and just what a difference this one is. It's 1 year now. We're at the end of August. September 16th was my hospitalization. I don't know how I'm going to mark it. But this is where I'm at now, and it was such a major, this sounds so dramatic, but before they diagnosed me, I was going downhill so rapidly, and I was so alarmed and going to so many doctors, and I felt like I would say, please, I don't know what's happening. I'm losing abilities. I thought I was dying. What am I going to lose next? The ability to breathe, you know? And they told me afterward that was a real possibility because thoracic spinal compression can cause your lungs to be paralyzed. So I would have not been able to breathe. Anyway, so this is, I just feel it's much more joyous than this one. This one makes me very sad. It still was hopeful. This was the nicest of all. I did like a bunch. I did like 6. A lot of them were very red and jagged and angry. And this was the most distilled of all the 6 that I felt like showed some hope because I wanted to put yellow, but I was still like, I could not see beyond falling over. So even though this was the most optimistic at the time, I thought this was hopeful. Oh, I have this one. Who knows where I'll be next year? And anyway, what's come about is I've really adopted this totem of the phoenix because I do feel like I went to hell and back. I feel like I was totally destroyed emotionally, physically, and I'm coming back. And I'm coming back different. I'm not 100%, but I'm grateful. But I have so much more wisdom, so much more spirituality because of the depths that I had to go to just survive. I mean, it sounds dramatic, but it was dramatic. It's one of those things in your life that you measure. My parents' death, that was one thing that I measure my life, like pre-daddy dying, pre-mommy dying, after mom dying. It's like big markers like that. And I know for me, it's going to be pre-spinal injury, post-spinal, because it changed, and I'm going to stay changed for the rest of my life from this. I don't think I'm going to get 100% recovery, but I'm being grateful for what I can get. And I even went to psychics and asked them. This is the last couple months, I've been desperate to know, am I going to walk again unassisted? Am I going to gain all my abilities? I couldn't stop asking that, and I'm finally kind of stopping asking. I'm still working. I'm still in physical therapy. I've been going for 2 years because I had stopped being able to walk well. A year before the surgery, it just got to be a crisis after a year. So I've been in physical therapy 2 years. Yeah, so the phoenix is my new emblem. And here's the little flames. You can see like handwriting on things. These are all collages. All the paper here I made. I didn't make the paper, but whatever's painted on it, I did. I like to do collage, and I know there's places, I mean, there's so much paper that's beautiful out there. But for me, part of my process, and I do collages with some of that, but like this, everything is made by me. I mean, this, I stamped the image, but I colored it in. These are scraps of paper that I just stamped. Everything, the bottom layer, and I like to work in layers. So, I don't know, I just really started working intuitively, and I felt like I wanted the physical world of earth and body and your blood, and then the emotional world of watery emotions. I had the 2 sides because I've had to plummet the depth of both of them. I still have tears. You can see bloody red tears. Blue tears, emotion, blood was life force. But butterflies, transformation, regain. I have a new totem. I've always been aligned with mermaids, and I still am, but I am really resonating with the phoenix now, and I'm going to fly. And I hope you like it. I probably told a really long story that should be edited, but mermaid tears, I'll just highlight things. Mermaid tears, my tarot, high priestess, I felt I needed to channel my guides and my wisdom from my ancestors. I have some iconographic symbols of ancient Peruvian, Mesoamerican. It's just through indigenous, but these are from Peru, markings, because I'm really getting in touch with that side of me. The earthy side, magic, the watery side, and just writing and my art. I hope you liked my explanation of my art journal. This is an art journal. There's so many different kinds that you can make. This was mine about my recovery. I hope you like it. I'm really thrilled about it.